am now 37 weeks pregnant, and I think I'm finally there on packing my hospital bag. This video will purely be what I've packed for me and also for my husband Mark, because I really struggled as to whether you're meant to pack something for your partners or not. So I kind of packed a few bits and I'll just take you through what we've got. So first things first, I have packed everything in my little carry-on suitcase. This is purely because for me, this made sense. It's got compartments, which I'll show you as and when I open it up. So it meant I could split my items between what I'm going to need during labour and what I'm going to need following the birth of our baby. But also, should I be in a situation where I'm on my own, perhaps I'm having to go to theatre suddenly, or I'm in for an induction, say, and I need to transfer wards during the night on my own. This is something I can wheel myself. It's not going to be a big heavy holdall that I'm going to struggle to carry. So I'll take you through what is in here. So I'll just tip it slightly just so you can see what I mean. As I mentioned, it is in two compartments, so it's got a split zip bit down the middle. But first things first, I'll take you through the bits that I have packed in the first section. Now this will be the section that I feel will be the bits that I need for during labour. So I split it into that, so we literally can just get there, and Mark has only got one section to go in to grab things to help me. Now a lot of this has been compiled via what I've seen on YouTube, but also kind of what's been recommended like by antenatal teachers and some of my friends who have had babies. So I am a first time mum, and I do tend to overpack anyway, so I will give you a precursor. I think there's quite a bit of stuff in here. First things first though, what isn't in my case but is going to be sat beside the case in the baby's room when I can reach behind me, are a couple of items, and it's purely just so I know where they are when things get going. Hopefully I'll be at home so I can then start to kind of see to myself really prior to going up to hospital. The first thing is a TENS machine. I hope to use this when I first go into labour, but I heard that it's most effective if you put it on even when you don't even really need pain relief right at the beginning. But the earlier you start it, the more your body gets used to it. So I've got this sat beside my case so I know exactly where it is. And I've also got two aromatherapy oils. I've picked up lavender and clary sage. I wasn't actually that into the aromatherapy thing, mainly because I don't actually have a clue what the hell I'm doing. However, recently when I've struggled to sleep, I've had a sleep spray. I got it as a freebie. I have no idea where. I came across it and thought, oh, I'll try that. And that actually had lavender in, and I found I don't think it sends me to sleep, but I do like the smell of it, and I do find it quite calming and relaxing. So I thought I'd get some lavender. It's also quite good for healing, so you can put this in your bath following the birth and that can help with recovery. I've also got clary sage, which I've heard can have quite euphoric effects in terms of pain relief. It's also quite a calming oil, and it can make your contractions more efficient, supposedly. It's kind of up to you as to whether you believe in all this aromatherapy thing or not. But I plan to put a couple of drops of these on a damp flannel at the time. The flannel will also be ready with these, and I can sniff that then throughout. I'm also hoping to give birth on the midwifery-led birthing unit, and they also have a range of aromatherapy oils, and they can help you with that as well. So back to the suitcase. Now I'm hoping to have a water birth on a midwifery-led birthing unit, as I said, and I actually have a phobia of blood. Phobia might actually be a bit strong, but I really struggle to see blood, and this came up as not an issue, but certainly something to be mindful of in terms of how I'm actually going to cope with the whole labour process really, and some of the things I might see, particularly if I'm going to be having a water birth. One of the big tips I got given, and whether I'll use this because I'm having a water birth or whether it will be for my shower after, was to pack a dark towel. I'm quite lucky. It's different for every single birthing centre and hospital, but towels are provided where I'm going to be giving birth, but they're the standard white, small, quite crispy towels. So I can use those, that's fine. But one, I thought it'd be quite nice to have a bit of a home comfort, that something a bit thicker, something a bit softer, but also the dark colour means that potentially I won't be seeing as much of some dark coloured items coming out of me than if I'd use a white towel. So I have packed my own dark fluffy towel. I have also packed my own dressing gown. Now I know a lot of people warn you that it's very hot, obviously on labour wards, and is renowned for being quite hot at the hospital that I'm going to be giving birth at. However, this is I call it a thin / thick dressing gown. It's not ultra thick. I have worn this in the summer at home and it's fine. It's probably getting past its date and time for a new dressing gown, to be perfectly honest, which is why I packed it, so I'm not bothered if it gets mucky in any way. I'm quite happy to chuck it out after, but it's also quite nice just to have again a bit of a home comfort at the end, or particularly if I've just come out the pool and I want something of my own to wrap around. So I have packed that. I've got some little slippets. I know these are reindeer, which isn't fitting with the season because I'm actually giving birth in April, hopefully. May push into May, but we'll see. But these are thin, these stay on my feet, so my feet shouldn't get too hot because they're not all the way up to my ankle. They're really slim to pack, and they're quite comfy, and to be honest, it's just about having something on your feet. So you're not walking around, and I wear slippers all the time at home, regardless of the weather, regardless if it's hot or cold, so again it's a bit of a home comfort for me. I've packed some face wipes. Normally I hate these things, I never normally use them. However, I've got some fragrance free ones for sensitive skin. I thought these could be quite handy if I end up going into labour and I need to get my makeup off my face. Perhaps I've gone into labour in the day, particularly if I'm having a water birth. I don't really want mascara running down my face. I don't know if I'm going to be bothered about taking my makeup off, but just in case. But also I thought they could be quite handy for if you just want to wipe your hands or under your arms or anything like that really. I just thought they'd be quite good and useful to have. Everyone has told me, everyone seems to pack fluffy socks in their cases because you can actually get cold feet during labour. God knows why, but if I am giving birth on dry land, I have packed my fluffy socks just in case, but even if my slippers get messy, or I do like a nice pair of fluffy socks, so a pair of fluffy socks. I've also packed a flannel. It could be used for the aromatherapy, that isn't what I had in mind. It was purely mainly just to kind of perhaps damp it and put it on the back of my neck or something if I'm getting a bit hot and flustered. Because again, like I say, it is known for being quite hot on the labour ward. But it could be used for aromatherapy, but flannel nonetheless could be quite handy. I've got our portable speaker. We're not allowed to take anything that you can plug in. They do kind of overlook phone chargers, they say, but actual kind of speakers and electrical items like that we would need to get pack tested. This is a Bluetooth speaker, so there's no wires to my phone. I've already kind of tuned it up so it's ready to go. We've just got to switch it on. It's already charged as well, and it is, yeah, it's a charged up speaker, so I don't then need to plug it in. But this is so then I can listen to my hypnotherapy tracks and relaxation music when we're at the hospital. Now I am planning a water birth, but you never know how things might go. In case I end up on dry land, or just to wear before I get into the pool, I have a nightshirt which says "Today is the day" on it. It's just from Primark. It was new, so this was £4.50. Throughout pregnancy I have been a size like 10-12, but I've got this in a 14 to 16. mainly just because I needed to get over my bump, because it isn't a maternity item in any way, it's just a normal item. For the sake of £4, I don't care if it gets mucky or anything like that. For skin to skin, the baby can come up underneath, that's fine. But yeah, this is just for wearing while I'm getting ready to get in the pool, but if I end up giving birth on dry land. And then my pièce de résistance, for if I manage to get into the pool. We often talk about oxytocin, about how your levels need to be as high as possible, and you also need to be as comfortable in your environment as possible. I would probably actually class myself as bordering on prudish. I hate nudity. I hate talking like things like sex and things like that. That it isn't for me. And when I've often spoken to people about water births, they've often talked about wearing either a t-shirt in the pool, a bikini top, or absolutely nothing. Well, absolutely nothing isn't an option for me. There is no way I'm doing that, and I'd never feel comfortable doing that. Bikini top doesn't float my boat either, because I wasn't really that comfortable in a bikini prior to being pregnant, let alone now when I feel like I'm the size of a hippopotamus. And also it then means the whole of my downstairs is on show, which I know there needs to be some kind of access at the end, but I don't think everything needs to be there necessarily. And finally, I hate wearing clothes in the water. Like as a kid and being ginger, I'd often get burnt, so I'd often end up in a pool with a wet t-shirt on, or I always remember the feeling of wearing wet clothes in the pool, and it makes my skin crawl, so I didn't want to wear a t-shirt either. So I've come up with my own solution, and that is a swimming costume. It is halter neck, so I can then easily undo it for skin to skin and for breastfeeding following the event. But it's actually a skirt swimsuit, so it's a skirt that goes over the swimsuit. Don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it's just a normal swimsuit underneath. And then my mum has modified this, because it isn't a maternity swimming costume. It is a perfectly normal swimming costume. I just got it off eBay, so it was a size larger, but it's stretchy, so it's fine. But then my mum has modified it with some Velcro. So as and when the time comes, I can just be like Wonder Woman, and the midwives then have access. But I've also kind of fairly covered up as well, and that's to make me feel comfortable. Now for items actually during labour, I've got all the little bits in a small kind of zipped compartment. So I have been warned, my lips are really, really dry anyway, whether it's during the summer or during the winter, but particularly if you use gas and air, then your lips get dry. So I've packed my favourite Carmex lip balm. I've also got some spare batteries for the TENS machine if I end up going to the hospital with it on. There's already a battery in the machine, but I've got a couple of spares just in cases. In terms of hair, I've got a big clip, so I can just twist my hair up and shove that in and clip it. It's also then got some hair ties attached to it, so if I need to just shove my hair up. And I've got some bobby pins. I just need to hope that Mark understands what the hell I'm asking for at the time. I've also been warned that you can get really hot during labour, and also being on a hot ward. I don't tend to get hot, but I can guarantee that if I don't prepare for it, it'll be the one time that I do, and it'll drive me insane. So I've actually got a water mist spray. I picked this one up from Primark actually, and it was in the sale for 50p, so I was looking for one, and it just happens to be quite a large one. But this will then be quite handy as and when we go on holiday, but it's just a fine mist to go on your face. And I've also got a really cute electric fan, so again he can spray some water and then we can blow some air on me to keep me cool. Following on the same lines, I've also got an empty spray bottle. Now I could either put water in this, it's not very big, it just came from one of them travel toiletry sets that you can get. Again, I think that was only £1 from Primark, and it had like 2 of these and some of them normal bottles you can then decant your shampoos into. But I could either put some water in this if my face misting spray runs out, or we could put some of the aromatherapy oils in and spray the room to make it nice. I've also got my plug for chargers. Me and Mark have different phones. He's got an iPhone, I have a Samsung. So I've got 2 different types of charger. Thinking about it, actually, I think this one does both. So I might not need to take both. Oh no, it doesn't. Not for my phone anyway. So I've got both leads and the plug, so we can charge up our phones when we're there, particularly if we happen to use my phone for like the music and things. But we need to be able to get some photos and contact people after the event. Now, no, this isn't something that you'd use during the act of creating the baby, although it does look like it. But during our antenatal classes, we used a number of things to do with massage. One of which was like a claw, little plastic claw with like 3 bubbles on the end, and I actually quite like that. However, I refused to buy something like that we're never really going to use again, and there's nothing to say I'm actually going to like it during the actual birthing and labour. However, this, which is another thing I tried and I did also quite like it, I did have from when I hurt my back a few years ago. The physio recommended I get one, and it helps, you rub it up against the joint and it helps to release the tension within it. Something like this, though, I can also then use myself, particularly if it is my back. I can then kind of roll it up and down my back by leaning against the wall and rocking against it. So in the early stages of labour, I can use this to try and relieve tension. Whether it'll work or not, I have no idea, but it's packed and is certainly worth a go. I've also got a headband with some more hair ties on, just to keep like kind of hair off my face. This is just like a makeup one, but you could use like a fitness one if that's what you prefer. I've got some cooling forehead gels, so going on the same kind of principle as the heat. This happened to be in the sale along with the face spray in Primark, so this was only like 50p as well. So I thought, oh, that might be quite handy, so I'll pick that up as well. I've grabbed a handful of straws. I probably only need 1, but should I need some more fluids and they give me a cup of water, I'm thinking that's going to be probably a bit tricky to drink sometimes. Whereas if I just pop a straw in there, I can then access that from the pool or something like that. So I just grabbed a handful. I've got 4. Who knows? And finally, in that section, I've got some headphones, so I can listen to my hypnobirthing tracks. I'll probably get these out before we even get to the hospital, so I can listen to my tracks in the car on the way, and also some paracetamol. This is mainly for Mark more than me, because I'm guessing that anything I ask for, the midwives will be able to get for me, especially in terms of pain relief, and they'll need to record what I've taken. But it's handy to know where it is if I happen to be taking it home. But if Mark ends up getting a headache or something like that, then that's going to be one of the worst things for him, to then have to sit there and suffer when he's not going to be able to access anything like this. So at least he got these that he can then access. Now, before I move on to the other section of the suitcase, which is more for after I've laboured, I've also packed a rucksack for Mark, which has got some extra bits and bobs in for him, but also still for me. But these will be things that I think he will really need to access. The other bits I think I can probably sort out myself most of the time. I'll only be really when I get in the pool. But these things are kind of for both of us. So first thing says, I've packed him a spare t-shirt. You don't know how long you're going to be there, and also he may get a bit mucky if he then gets handed the baby straight away for whatever reason. So it's just nice for him to then have a spare top. I've also packed in some minimal toiletries. We have been warned that, you know, there isn't showering facilities or anything like that for the dads, so he can still use my face wipes to perhaps have a freshen up if he needs to. But I have included some shower gel if he just wants to do a strip wash, some deodorant, some antiperspirant, and a toothbrush if he just needs to freshen up. In his rucksack got also my hospital notes. I have to keep taking these out to go to my hospital appointments, but at least then they are there. And when I'm busy trying to just get comfortable when we first arrive. He knows that they're going to be in his bag. I've also been advised to pack a number of snacks, both for him and for me. Now, I probably will be separating these out. I've mainly kept them in their packets just to show you, so it won't be as excessive as it looks. But the first things first is I've got these Go Ahead crispy slices. I've been eating the Aldi versions throughout my pregnancy to curb any sickness, and they have been an absolute saviour for me. I think because they're dry, they have a little bit of sweetness, but not too much. But they've really, really helped me. And I have heard there are times in labour that you can feel sick. So I was going to pack a couple of these mini packs just for me. Perhaps one for after labour and one for during if I'm feeling a bit sick. Likewise, there are also these apple fruity bakes from Tesco's, which I've been loving. Again, I'll probably pack just a couple of these. One for during if I'm feeling a bit queasy or need to get up my energy. And one for after, just for a bit of sustenance. One of my cravings has been orange throughout my pregnancy, so I have packed some orange juice. These are also obviously got sugar in them, which normally they don't obviously kind of promote. However, during labour, your salts and your sugars will plummet because essentially you're running a marathon. So I figured a couple of, if I pack these, I can drink these after to replenish my fluids, but also during, and they've got a handy straw, so that'll be quite handy. Again, it's the only time that a midwife or any kind of health practitioner has ever recommended sugar sweets to help when your energy dips. But they do love to recommend jelly babies, and I've also picked up a pack of red and black wine gums. Because again, if my energy levels start to dip, then you just need a couple of these and they perk you straight back up. I've got a pack of energy sports drinks. Now, I'll probably only take a couple of these. I might take, say, 2, one for me, one for Mark if he needs one, maybe 3. Because these have been recommended again to keep your energy up. They are the still variety, and I got them in orange because again orange has been one of my cravings. But you don't want fizzy during labour because then that can kind of also bring on the sickness, and you also don't want a gassy stomach. That's the last thing you need when you're going to be going through what you are. So some still isotonic drinks are highly recommended. I've also got a squash, what I call a squash squirter, but you can, this is passion fruit and mango, but I'm not brilliant at drinking water unless it's really ice cold, and I hate it out of a tap. But if I end up going on a ward, I know they're just going to give me a jug of water that is going to get warm fairly quickly, and it would have just been from a tap, so my worst nightmare. So I've got this for if I end up going on a ward, I can then squirt some of my juice in to then make it into a squash. For Mark in particular, he has requested some Rice Krispie bars and his favourite blue ribbons. Again, I'm not going to pack the whole pack because he will eat the whole pack and then he'll be sick and that will do no one any good. So I'll pack a few bars of these for him to make sure his energy is up throughout the labour. I'm also going to be packing some cold water. However, I've got 2 bottles in the freezer. That was another top tip I got given, in that, again, because the labour wards are very, very hot and you could be there for some time, if you put 2 bottles in the freezer, just again with the sports caps on the top, so they're easily, you can drink them quite easy. If you grab them as you're leaving out the door to go to the hospital, and by the time you then get to the hospital and been there for say half an hour, they would have started to defrost, but the water will still be really, really cold. And I've also got a bottle in the fridge ready and waiting for me to grab and be able to drink along the way, because you do need to remember to empty your bladder every half an hour during labour to stop it getting damaged. Following the labour, I have also been recommended to have an empty bottle, and then when I go for my first urination after, which you also have to do before you're able to be discharged, It can be a little bit tender down there, particularly if you're peeing acidic urine onto an open wound. To squirt some lukewarm water at the same time. So I'm hoping if I finish one of those bottles, then I can fill that back up with some kind of warmish water and use that for then. Oh, the other thing I've also packed for Mark is a neck pillow, because you don't know how long you're going to be there and how uncomfortable he might also become. Moving on to the second half of my suitcase, I have my toiletry bag. I'm hoping to make my shower following the birth one of the best showers I have ever had, and I'm sure that will feel like that anyway. But to help, I have tried to pack some of my favourite things that I like the smell of. So that includes Aussie shampoo and conditioner. I don't know if I am going to wash my hair. I kind of would prefer to do it at home or in my own home. So in that case, I have also packed my dry shampoo. But just in cases I need to, I have packed my favourite Aussie shampoo and conditioner because I love the smell. I love Sanctuary Spa, so I have packed some Sanctuary Spa shower gel, which I just think will be a bit more luxurious, and a Jimmy Choo body moisturiser to put on after, so I feel like I smell a bit better. Just in case I need to wash my face or I end up staying in overnight, I've got a mini of the Soap and Glory facial wash. Again, I'll already have a flannel that's already in my suitcase, so I can use that. But I find that really leaves my skin feeling kind of tingly fresh. So I think that might be a nice feeling for afterwards. And also some unscented roll-on deodorant. Mitchum is my favourite. It's just a personal choice. And I always use roll-on. But unscented because particularly if you're going to be breastfeeding, obviously the baby's face is going to be in that area. So the last thing that the baby needs is to have sweet roses kind of pumped into its nostrils when it's only just been born. So we were recommended to get unscented. I have a really handy travel mirror. So should I end up staying overnight and I know I'm going to be getting guests the next day, I can then put that on my little hospital bed tray to then do my makeup the next day. And I've also got my comb with hair ties on the end. I've got some face cream and my toothbrush with a mini toothpaste. I've got some overnight revitalising eye balm. I've never used this in my life, so who am I kidding? I probably will not end up using this like the morning after my birth, but who knows? I came across it when I was clearing through my drawers and I thought, oh, of all the times I'm going to need some eye brightening balm, it could be the morning after, like, having a baby. And finally, in my toiletry bag, because I didn't really know where else to put them, I've packed two separate packs of Lancino nursing pads. I don't think your milk comes in till about the third day, so I'm not actually expecting to need these straight away. However, they were individually wrapped, so they could be quite discreet if I need to nip off to the bathroom, and particularly if I'm only in overnight, I just thought two separate individual packs were quite handy. Going on the shower theme, just in case I do end up washing my hair, I've got a hair wrap. This is what I use all the time at home anyway, so I've got a clean one in there so I can then wrap my hair up in a turban, so I don't have to then use the hospital towels and try and balance it on my head while trying to hold a baby. I've also got some big fat black pants. I got these from Primark. Now originally I just bought my normal size, so I got them in medium, which was a pack of 3 in size 10 to 12. They are full briefs, so if I end up with a C-section then they'd cover the scar as well. But then thinking about it, and then when I saw the the maternity pads, which are also packed in this suitcase, I then suddenly thought, oh, perhaps I need to get the bigger size just in cases. So I've packed both. I don't think I'm going to need both, but I didn't really know what to pack. So I've also got size 14 to 16. Perhaps I'll only put one pack in, maybe. I've just mentioned them, but I have packed a pack of maternity pads, hoping that I'll be in overnight for like one night. If I need any more, Mark can then always bring me some up, but these were just some from Superdrug, and they won the Mother and Baby Bronze Awards. I didn't pick them up because of that, I just picked them up because that's all I saw. And I also got a pack in a hamper at my baby shower, so I thought I'd pack them. I am hoping to breastfeed, so I've also got myself some Pregnacare breastfeeding vitamins, and I've just taken out, you get 2 different types that you have to take each day, and I thought, oh well, at least I can crack on with them as soon as the baby's out. So I've just taken a sleeve of each and I've popped them in the case. I have got a little cosmetic pouch of makeup. It is minimal what I'm taking, so it's literally taking a bit of daily moisturiser, a little bit of concealer. I've got a really old mascara, foundation. I have a mascara in here, and I have a bit of bronzer, and that's pretty much it. It is literally just to touch me up so I look slightly presentable if I'm in overnight. But other than that, I'm hoping to come straight home and I'll probably be makeup free. Also tucked in here, I've got some arnica tablets, which I was recommended to get because they help with bruising and swelling and help you to recover quicker. So along with lavender, this is my my vital recovery plan to try and get back on form. I have treated myself to a pair of nursing pyjamas. Now, I deliberated over these for quite some time because I felt that they were quite pricey. I got them off Amazon and I'll link them below, but they were called Kindred Bravely nursing pyjamas. I got them in black, and it comes with, I don't know if you'll see it, this wrap top, which reminded me of like a beautician's top, but it is nursing friendly, and it's got frilly sleeves, and then it's got really loose kind of black bottoms as well, again with the frilly bottoms. These were £38. However, can I just say, when they have arrived, they are the softest things I have ever touched in my life, and I cannot wait to get them on. Both the top and the bottoms, I think if you wore separately, no one would even know that they're pyjamas. So that's kind of my plan, that I will wear them overnight if I end up staying overnight. However, I can then use either just the top or the bottoms to come home in if that's what I feel comfortable in. I have packed a maternity bra. My milk at 37 weeks hasn't come in yet, or I know it doesn't really tend to come in until 3 days after, but my boobs haven't actually got bigger in the last couple of weeks, so I'm loath to go and get measured properly. So I've actually picked up a set of 2 from Asda. They were in black and white. I'm wearing the white one now. And they're kind of, they have got moulded cups, but I'm hoping to get some actual proper moulded cups when I know what size I'm going to be. But they're really, really super comfy. They were about £15 for a pack of 2, so it wasn't too bad. And I'm taking the black one with me. I've packed a nursing vest top because I was thinking this could go underneath a loose top, which I have also packed if I'm going to wear, say, the trousers from the pyjama set. Or alternatively, I have also packed some maternity leggings because I'm expecting to still have a bit of a pouch on, and I can wear that with the nursing vest top underneath and like a long jumper over the top. But the weather has been really interchangeable lately. I don't know how I'm going to feel. I may even end up just putting back on the clothes I've gone in if I've only been there for a couple of hours and nothing's particularly happened to them. But I'm kind of catering for all scenarios really. And then finally, I have packed and charged and cleared out our camera. I will also have our phones as well to get some snaps of the precious bundle of joy when it arrives. But in case I want some higher quality ones or I end up being there for a bit more time, I thought I'm going to pack this because I'll have a bit of fun. And all in all, that is my hospital bag. So that is for me, for my partner, well, my husband, who is my birthing partner, for during and straight after labour and preparing for a one-night stay if that ends up happening. Baby stuff is all packed in its own changing bag, and I'll take you through that some other time. But if you have any recommendations for me, then please do send them across. Be quick, because I'm now 37 weeks. So I need to get it in quite quickly. And I will probably do a video after to actually tell you what I did and didn't use, and perhaps what was wasted and what was a waste of time. But actually what was vital or I wish I had packed following. But in the meantime, as always, if you like this video, then hit like. Particularly subscribe, please. We've got a number of people who are watching but they're not subscribed to the channel, so that'd be great if you could. And then I'll see you next time.